It begins with a family riding somewhere at night. The parents talk about their daughter's bad temper because she didn't want to leave. Suddenly, the radio turns on to behave wildly, causing their daughter to wake up screaming. This causes them to get into an accident. We briefly see the devastating result of it. Then a young lady wakes up in a different environment. She is Kate, the young girl from the accident many years later. Since she woke up loudly, a man who is about her age enters her room to see what happened. They talk for a short time before he leaves. Later, we see Kate driving for a while until she arrives at a place called Brackenmore. She enters a house that is dark and quiet at first. Soon enough, a woman greets her there. Kate tells her she saw a sign on the road that she could stay there, so the woman brings Kate to her room. Inside, she calls a man named Stephen to leave a message that she's sorry she left without saying anything. She adds that she needs to get away from everything. So far, little can be said about this mysterious girl. Did her parents survive that grisly accident long ago? Since she said she wants to get away from everything, we can infer that her life might be somewhat hectic. After that, Kate comes to a building that has the words Kelly Solicitors on it. She tries to enter, but it's not open, so she leaves a note on the sign. As she turns to go back, she sees a young boy wearing an odd mask looking at her. Kate greets him, yet he just stands there without saying anything. This makes her walk away, looking at him strangely in the process. Back at the house, Kate eats dinner with the elderly couple. The man wants to confirm if she's from London, and Kate says she is. She is there with them now because she has family matters to attend to. Her uncle has passed away, and he left Kate his property. She didn't even know she had an uncle. It is also here that we learn her parents did lose their lives in that accident. Since she feels like the man doesn't want her to stay there too much longer, she tells the couple she will only be there for a few more days. At another time, we see Kate inside the building she tried to enter the other day. She sits quietly in a room until a man barges in to sort out the matter with her uncle's property. He tells her early on that the man, though he doesn't state the reason for it. Soon enough, they ride out to the property. Once they come inside, Kate says she recognizes it. Then, someone else makes his appearance there, whom the executor calls Tom. When the executor leaves, Tom tells Kate he knew her uncle. He says he was a good man. Kate starts talking about having lost her parents, and this causes her to start vomiting. The next scene has her back at the rented house. She gets a knock on her door, but when she opens it, no one is there. A bowl of food is there instead that Kate picks up. Outside the house, we see some people standing while holding torches. The meaning of this is not currently known. On the next day, Tom comes to visit her with some flowers. He wants to know how she's feeling today, because yesterday was not too good for her. Kate says she has to go see Kelly, the executor, about some paperwork. As she is talking, Tom intently looks at the pictures on the wall. He points to a certain picture to show Kate where her uncle is. He is there in that picture because this village is not too big, and most people are acquainted with each other. After that, they walk outside together. Kate tells him this place is relaxing, and that is what she needs right now. Arriving at Kelly's place, Kate is unfortunate to find it locked a second time. Tom tries to turn this bad luck upside down by inviting her to a festival with him by the lake. It will give her a better feel of the village, he says. As she walks alone, we hear her voiceover leaving a message again on the phone. She says it is nice there, and that she's doing okay. She also hopes that Stephen is doing well. Kate then enters her uncle's property to get an unpleasant surprise in the kitchen. There are several severed animal heads there. It startles her, yet it doesn't stop her from searching the house. Soon enough, she comes across a cabinet that holds a book. It is a photo album that she ends up spending a good amount of time perusing. Eventually, Tom arrives for her. She tells him she thought he was coming at 8, but to her surprise, the time is already 8:30. She lost track of time being in that uninhabited house, looking at the photos of the distant past. Following this, we see the duo at the festival. There is lively music and dancing. Kate tells Tom that this is what she needed. Everyone looks very happy there. To make things more exciting, Tom takes her elsewhere to smoke up with him. We don't get to see the effects of it, as our view shifts to seeing more of the festival. It seems somewhat occult, with some people wearing spooky white masks. It also looks like someone What kind of festival is this? It's the kind this village allows. So the question becomes, what kind of village is this? At this point, we should question if Kate's uncle really, as the executor told her. Once the festival is over, Tom takes her home, and she tells him she had fun. In her room, she seems happy with the night she had. Then she gets a knock on the door. When she opens it, a white masked man grabs her to smack her down onto the bed. He takes out a knife, but Kate kicks him down. She starts running away, only to be brought down by this perpetrator. As he chokes her, she uses a nearby stick to smack him. Unfortunately, it doesn't bring him down, so she locates the better option, the knife he dropped. She is forced to end the man's life with it. After doing so, she lies there, screaming in agony due to the horribly unexpected event she just had to deal with. From that one event, Kate will never again think this place is relaxing. The next scene has her sitting at a table in shock. Tom is there with her, asking the poor lady if she's ready. He needs to know if she's ready to answer some questions, because a policeman sits before her. He wants to know how well Kate knew Aline. Supposedly, he is the person whose life she took. Of course, she tells him she doesn't know him at all. The officer also wants to know why Kate is in Brackenmore, so she informs him of her reason. He tells her that her uncle was a good man even though he was troubled. This prompts him to ask if Kate is troubled too, to which she says she isn't. After telling him she was at the festival, the policeman says she may have met Aline there. Annoyed now, Kate repeats that she never met him. She explains the activities she engaged in while there. The officer manages to guess that she also smoked some of the festival root. He is upset that she arrived at their village to cause such a disruption. A foreigner arrives and somebody loses their life. This looks bad in the lawman's eyes. His concluding words are that he knew the boy she ended. Back at her uncle's house, Kate keeps looking at the photo book. Tom is there with her. She flips to a photo of a little girl, thinking that it's her. Since she doesn't remember any of it, it makes her very uneasy. She also feels like she can't stay there. The photo intrigues Tom, so he takes it out to look at its backside. It has an odd symbol on it. Later, the duo come to Kelly's. Upon seeing the bruises on Kate's face, the man feels somewhat uncomfortable. Kate firmly says she wants to sell the house. This leads him to say it isn't that simple. Some paperwork needs to be done, along with checking if the house has any debts. It might take a few days. This makes the annoyed Kate even more annoyed, so she goes outside to call Stephen, but he doesn't answer. When they return to the guest house, Kate discovers her car is damaged. If only that was the sole problem. However, the door is also taped with a crime scene warning. No entry. Angered, Kate knocks on the door, asking for Irene. No one opens it, causing Kate to break down. Shortly after, we hear a voiceover of Stephen saying he got Kate's messages. He's worried about her, and he arrived there this morning. Furthermore, he found her pregnancy test, wishing that she had told him about it. Once his voiceover is finished, we see him arrive at the guest house. He is in for some unfortunate news, though. The owner tells him the place isn't a guest house anymore. Then we see Kate talking to Tom at her uncle's house. She reveals that Stephen cheated on her. She can't forgive him, saying she's not strong enough. Yet Tom wants her to know he never met anyone stronger than her. All this talk makes the man propose that they drink, especially her. After some time passes without him returning, Kate yells out to him. Since he doesn't answer her, she slowly searches for him. Instead of Tom, she sees a man in the same creepy white mask coming for her. She starts running away in panic. A second masked individual prevents her from going far. The poor girl wakes up at another time, in restraints, in some dark interior. Before her sits a man in a white mask. He removes it to reveal that it's Tom. Of course, this isn't much of a surprise. Right when he disappeared, the masked people appeared to grab Kate. The first thing he does is apologize to her. But we know those words don't go very far for Kate. The two other masked people reveal themselves too. To make her situation more dreadful, they are the owners of the guest house. All the people she spent time with there are now keeping her captive. What a miserable trip this turned out to be. Once Kate says she doesn't want to be part of this, Irene tells her she's the whole of this, not just a part. There is no one more important than her. Irene also says Kate forgot her role there. Tom jumps in to say she was chosen long ago. To that, Kate says he doesn't know her. The man, however, assures her he does. He was there on the night of the accident. The elderly man says Kate's uncle knew what had to be done. That's why there was no way out of the crash. Her uncle for Kate to return there. Kate repels all of this undesirable information. Who are these strangers spouting such nonsense? After Irene says this isn't going to be pleasant for her, Tom starts pouring blood from a jar onto the restrained girl. Afterward, Stephen arrives at Kelly's building. The man comes out to let Stephen inside. There, Stephen wants to know if his wife, Kate, visited him. For some reason, Kelly tells him that name is not familiar. It seems like this entire village is a trap. The executor behaves unhelpfully, lying to Stephen like a con artist, making all possible avenues blocked for him. Then a man comes in who calls himself Garrett. He's in charge of the police force, in addition to being the man who interrogated Kate earlier. Garrett informs Stephen that his wife was involved in an incident where a man lost his life. He also says she fled the community. After pressing Stephen a bit more, he places some photos on the table that seem to trouble the man. He demands to know what is going on at that point. That is when Tom makes his entrance, welcoming Stephen to Brackenmore. Following this, Tom comes back to sit with Kate. He reveals some important information now. She is his sister. He waited to see her his entire life, and never desired for them to be separated. He is sorry for all of this. Shortly after, Kate witnesses how her husband is suddenly brought in. She pleads for them not to hurt him, but they go a few steps further by pouring gasoline on him. While they do, Kate tells Stephen she loves him very much. Nothing stops a lit match from igniting the flames that start burning our heroine's partner. She is forced to watch in agony. How much more must she suffer? She then gets taken away in slow motion, appearing emotionless. Kate gets brought outside, where many of the villagers stand. Some of them wear those white masks, while others do not. Kate has a white gown on, to go with whatever they are planning to do to her. When they place her down, the elderly man starts saying they are all gathered there with nowhere else to turn. Kate will bring them new life. According to him, they were all chosen long ago by the old gods. Shortly after, someone opens Kate's arm to collect her blood into a bowl. A young lady is given the bowl to drink from it. Once she does, the elderly man says there will be new prosperity along with new life. After that, Tom takes Kate to the water to submerge her there. This action is not meant to end her, though. When they believe she has had enough, the special lady gets taken back to where she was. Tom hugs her, and the elderly man says it is done. Subsequently, trouble starts for the villager. Kate sees Kelly there, which makes her look at him meanly. He gets scared, pleading for the others to help him. Somehow, the man understands that something baleful is coming. Soon enough, he falls with his life lost. This causes the others to run away out of fear. Tom wants Kate to stop this, whatever she is doing. At that moment, everyone within Kate's vicinity starts bleeding uncontrollably before losing their lives. Tom is among them. The special lady, surrounded by lifeless bodies, soon stands up to start walking away. The expression she wears is difficult to decipher. It looks like she considers what she just caused to neither be a victory nor a defeat. But whatever was coming for her, she stopped it. The villagers were correct in believing Kate to be extraordinary.